Hi, welcome to Life Path. My name is Dr. Melissa Brown and I'm your host. You know, the economy has been very challenged for the last few years. And as a result of that, we have many issues that are difficult to face and even more difficult to help people with. One of those issues is homelessness. And today we're going to be looking into that issue with respect to what Sacramento's response has been to that. And my guest today is Ms. Bridget Alexander. Bridget is the executive director of an organization called Waking the Village. And today that's what we're going to do. And we're going to talk to you a little bit more about homelessness and some of the challenges that it faces. Bridget, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Good. Now, Waking the Village is a concept that you were the founder of, you came up with, and you launched it in a very special way. So how about sharing with our audience how you launched that concept?
Sure. So in 1999, I was a high school teacher working with young students who, many of them struggling with gangs. And the other founder, Blythe Rains, was working at Mustard Seed, which is a school for homeless youth.
Yes.
And both of us wanted to do something a little more dramatic to foster transformation. And so we launched with a bike trip across America. We rode from California to Florida with 17 youth.
Wow.
Took 65 days, and then in each state we did community service projects and also took them to see things like the Grand Canyon, the Alamo, and then finally jumped in the ocean in Pensacola, Florida. We were
So you were traveling with 17 youth, I believe you said.
17 youth, yes.
And these youth ranged in age from what to what? Describe them for us.
Our two youngest riders were 11 years old, and they were
Wow.
a boy and a girl, both experiencing homelessness at the time with their families, had been at Mustard Seed School. The oldest rider turned 21 on the trip, and along the way, the whole idea was to test drive the idea of what happens when you plug into the resiliency of these youth and then layer in a big goal with lots and lots of support. And that's what Tubman's about, our other program, but that's what the bike trip was really test driving that idea.
And so you empowered some homeless kids that also went with you. You fortified their belief structure and their ability to know that they could accomplish. Did they all finish the trip?
Yes, everyone finished the trip. And yeah, it's exactly, you stated it perfectly. It was about giving them the inner knowledge that they could carry something within them forever that could never be taken away, no matter what happened going forward, that they would always know they'd accomplished something huge and can accomplish something huge, and that you do it by getting up each day and getting a little further.
And being persistent about changing that condition. And Tubman House was the outgrowth of that, which is a special place for homeless youth.
Yes.
Describe Tubman House for us.
Tubman House is a transitional community for young parents experiencing homelessness. All the residents of our program are between 18 and 21 years old. Yes. And when they join the program, they're either pregnant or parenting. They have children that are typically between 0 and 4 years old. And while they're at Tubman, they come in and they identify the things they want to be working for. And Tubman is about providing stability, tons of support, relentless support,
yes.
and letting them experiment with the journey towards adulthood, and knowing that along the way there's going to be times when there's slip-ups and mistakes, but there's also times of that.
So you're dealing with the entire family, and you're transitioning them from a condition of homelessness to a condition of stability, and all of the programs at Tubman House deal with the whole child and the whole parenting issue as well.
Yes, exactly. We are very much, the services we provide to the children are equal to those we provide to the parents. The children are in our child development program every day, 35 hours a week. That's on-site, that's free. And then the parents are meanwhile going to college, working towards jobs, getting into counseling, and working towards their futures.
So the parents are working toward jobs. Give me one example of how you help a parent who has been without a job for a long period of time get a job.
One of our graduates came in, she had her high school diploma, and like a lot of our residents had a ton of strengths, but just didn't have a support network to maximize those.
Yes.
So we worked, and we do this with almost 75% of our residents go to college. So she got into college.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. She quickly identified that human services was of interest. She got a certificate in human services and then went into actually a career doing medical advocacy, working with Medi-Cal patients, which she had a lot of experience with, having grown up with two parents with disabilities.
Exactly.
And so she put that to work.
And I bet she's still working today.
Oh, she is working today, yes.
Yes.
She actually was on our board of directors.
On the board of directors,
Yes.
no longer homeless, and now helping others. So we're going to be right back in just a few seconds with more of Waking the Village.
This is one amazing truffula tree. Can you imagine a place where these grow everywhere? Yes, it's called the forest, a magical place to enjoy with your family.
Ooh.
So discover the forest and explore all the wonder that's there. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Welcome back to Life Path. If you just joined us, we're talking about a very special program in Sacramento, California called Waking the Village. And with us, we've been having a discussion with Bridget Alexander. Bridget is the Executive Director of Waking the Village. And the special transition program includes both an adult component and a children's component. Let's take a moment to talk about what services you provide to the young ones.
During the day, from 9 to 4, the children are on site in our child development program. It has all kinds of language building activities. Our teachers speak both Spanish and English.
Awesome.
We have all kinds of motor activities, and it's definitely a cross-age environment so that the parents get to witness the children at each stage of development and see what's coming down the road for their child. The parents work alongside the teachers at least 3 hours a week in the center to also kind of develop their parenting repertoire.
So you do kind of on-site, very live parent participation program.
Absolutely.
So that they are involved with the youth. How do you deal with the very challenging problem of a homeless child moving from one community to the other? So sometimes they've missed some of the essential educational gaps. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, that's absolutely true, and they've often come from high-stress environments. So
yes.
One is provide lots of stability and rhythm so that the environment quickly becomes predictable to them so they can feel like they have control over that, which actually creates immediate change in their behavior. Awesome. We also have parent-child interaction therapy, which is a form of therapy where you have a coach really working with the parent to develop attachment skills, and that's individualized and group. And then we also have house directors that live in each site and help guide the evening rhythms. So there's community meals and bath times and bedtimes and story times and things to build really healthy family rhythms.
So it's really, really good that you have a coach that's assigned to each particular family and child. So there's some sense of belonging, connection to the family and to the child.
It's central to Tubman House success. That relationship is going to allow the youth to have a stable, loving adult in their life that they can trust and that will be with them in a range of environments. Our coaches are with them in courtrooms, in birthing rooms,
wow.
in college classrooms, any place where they're going to need support, especially because they have often not witnessed adults in these environments, and so they need to witness someone advocating and pushing towards growth.
And someone that's a sounding board that they can ask questions to and get immediate answers. Two major questions. Number one, are there limits as to how long they can stay and work with you? And number two, are there eligibility requirements, Bridget?
They can stay for up to 18 months, and that we find is a perfect amount of time for them to put together the many pieces that need to get put together before they can exit to their own apartment. Mm-hmm. They all save 75% of their income, things like that.
So you help them exit to an apartment. That's wonderful.
Yes, almost the vast majority, 100% in the last 12 months, exit to their own apartment.
That's a great outcome evaluation.
Yes, and 90% will not become homeless again.
Awesome. So the recidivism is we come to your program and we know that we are going to be stable and get up on our feet. So that's an awesome kind of outcome for this type of homeless program. And how do they get in touch with you?
They're referred through 50 different programs in the area, but any 18 to 21-year-old that is experiencing homelessness, and that can include couch bouncing or being trapped in an abusive environment, can call us up, get on our wait list. We usually have about a 6-month wait to get into our program.
So there is a wait list, about 6 months. So for those of you who know of someone or need the help yourselves, it's important to contact Bridget. Bridget, the contact information is, and your website and telephone number?
Our website's www.wakingthevillage.org, and our phone number is 916-372-6272. You don't need to be referred. You can call us yourself, and we'll talk about that and also give you some other supports in the community.
So www.wakingthevillage.com, otherwise Waking the Village, and contact a phone book or a local directory. Just get the number one more time. It's very valuable.
916-372-6272.
So you can self-refer. And we'll be back in just a moment with more of Waking the Village, because we're going to take a look at an actual graduate from the Tubman House. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.